It's a big week. Tomorrow is the US elections. That's going to have a massive impact on everyone. And then later this week, the Fed announces their rate cuts. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the election and the potential tariffs that will come if Donald Trump gets elected. I'm going to talk about Jerome Powell's soft landing via Saudi Arabia. But first, if you're a young person thinking of going to Toronto, don't, because Toronto hates you. The city of Toronto has hiked development charges on the smallest forms of housing by 1,000% over the course of the last 15 years. Young people are the ones who tend to have the studio or one-bedroom apartment. Development charges for that is now $52,676, or more than 10 times what it was 15 years ago. Is that justified? Not really. Is that a cash cow? Oh, yes. All right, the soft landing is being managed by the Saudis. I've said many times that the Saudis are going to increase production in Q1. The plan was for them to gradually increase production through Q4. But now the price of oil is a little too low, so they have called off that gradual increase. They're probably going to push everything out an extra quarter. As a result of this announcement, gasoline and oil is up a little bit this morning, but not a tremendous amount. What does this mean? It means the soft landing that we've been promised. That's what it is. We had inflation at 1.6% here in Canada. And we were on track for like 1.3% for October if those prices would have stuck around. But they didn't. Given what October prices were, we'll probably be around 1.5% inflation for October. And if things stay the way they are, we'll be around 1.4 for November. And then maybe back to 1.5 for December. The soft landing being managed by the Saudis, not by central banks. So when JP talks about the soft landing, just know it's all bullshit. He's not in control of that. Speaking of bullshit, Donald Trump promises tariffs on Chinese items to bring jobs back to the US. That's not how it works. This is high school economics. Prices are supply, demand, and what the market will bear. Okay? If a tariff is applied to something and people continue to pay for that something, you've just proven that the market will bear a higher price. We just went through that with the recent price shocks, right? The price of things went up. We continue to buy them, so the prices stay elevated. That's how it works. Will these 100% tariffs on electric vehicles and these other tariffs that will come on Chinese products, will that actually help to move production to North America or the United States? No. Why would it? Well, because then they can avoid the tariff. If you buy a Chinese EV with a 100% tariff on it, okay, in this case, that 100% tariff, that extra cost, doubling of the cost, that money goes to the government. But you just proven to China that you're willing to pay double the price for the car. The tariff is in place to make the price of the car more in line with the price of vehicles being sold here right now. So if China just doubles the price of their car, they will avoid the tariff. All we have to do is buy the cars. If we buy the cars, then China will just increase the price and avoid the tariff without having to build a factory here in Canada or in the US. And that's going to be true of every product that comes out of China, which is pretty much everything. And don't forget, for many things, there is no other option. You're buying whatever's coming out of China, and you're going to pay the tariff price. And that company won't care because it has no impact on them. Or, like I said, they'll just increase the price to avoid the tariff. Do you really want to go to a dollar store and see everything now become like $5, $10? Is that what you want? Of course, the other thing that could happen tomorrow is a lot of disappointment in the markets. Because there's a lot of this happening. Where very wealthy people are rooting for Donald Trump to win because it's super beneficial for them. And remember, that comes at a cost, usually to the people who are not wealthy. Now, there are some outlets, like Yahoo, saying that stocks will get hammered if Trump wins because of the tariffs and so on and so forth. And some are saying that stocks will get hammered if Kamala Harris wins. And then, of course, there's all those calls for, unrest. It's going to be an interesting week. Maybe a very interesting few months. Maybe a very interesting 4 years.